Dinos to the rescue.
Whenever my happy smile turns upside down, I know how to turn my troubles around. I feel the yellow sunshine warming my
4 dinos were playing by the lake. Rocky found a smooth pebble on the beach, picked it up and threw it with all of his might. 1, 2, 3, 4 bounces. Yes, cheered Rocky. Try beating that, Bill. Bill shook his head. He was on lookout because in Cretaceous, trouble could strike at any moment. Instead, Mazu took up Rocky's challenge. Science tells me just the right angle to throw this rock, she declared. But Mazu's rock didn't bounce. It just splashed down with a loud plump. Prepare to be amazed. I guess science told you a joke, ha. Who dares to disturb my slumber? No sooner had the water settled than a huge, 2-foot creature reared its head out of the lake and fixed its eyes on Mazu. "Look out!" shouted Bill. "Termy's behind you!" Terminator snapped at Mazu just as she leapt to safety. The little dinos hid until the coast was clear. Bill was right. They did need a lookout. "You saved me." "If I hadn't listened to your warning, something terrible could have happened," Mazu gasped. Luckily, she knew just what to fetch to say thank you. "Be back soon," she called, dashing out of sight. A little while later, Mazu returned with a gift for Bill. "This is a floating flower," she said. "It's rare and should be appreciated, just like you." Bill nibbled a petal. "It's delicious. Have you got any more?" "No, Bill. For dinos like us, the flowers are special once-in-a-while treats," Mazu explained. "The flowers grow in the swamp and are the only food the horseshoe crabs can eat."
I know. That's cause I'll always be there to let
As Mazu hurried away to work on one of her new inventions, Bill stared down at his rumbly tummy. "That flower was really good," he sighed. "I want more." Tiny frowned. "I suppose one more couldn't hurt." "Come on," said Rocky. "We'll go to the swamp together." Tiny, Bill, and Rocky journeyed deep into the jungle, and eventually they reached the edge of the swamp. "We must be near the floating flower bush now," said Tiny. "I think it's over there. Let's jump down." Bill took a running jump over a giant leaf, straight into a pool of quicksand. Luckily, a friendly horseshoe crab was casting and lifted Bill up out of danger. Rocky and Tiny hopped on too. Tiny spotted the bush just up ahead on a mud bank. There were lots of horseshoe crabs gathered around it. They were eating the flowers just like Mazu said. "Look, there are plenty of flowers," Bill said, and rushed over to pick some. "Thanks, horseshoe crabs, let's go." Bill hadn't been in the flower bush long when 2 Archaeopteryxes landed beside him. "What are they doing?" wondered Rocky, looking on. Tiny shrugged. "It looks like they're picking something off a horseshoe's shells. Horseshoes have great taste." With an armful of flowers, Bill waded back to the others. Tiny's face fell when she saw all of the flowers Bill was carrying. "Why have you got so many?" she asked. Mazu said that the horseshoe crabs need them. "They've got plenty." Rocky swallowed the petal. They are really yummy, he agreed. Tiny sighed. If everyone else was eating them, it must be okay for her to try just one. Oh wow, she cried. I love them. When we got home, Mazu couldn't believe her eyes. Oh, Bill, she said, I wouldn't have given you a flower if I knew you'd take more. Bill didn't understand, so Mazu pulled down a chart to explain. The horseshoes climb onto the mud bank to eat the flowers, while the crabs eat Archaeopteryxes and pick mollusks off their backs. Then the orgies fly over the savannah and drop the mollusk shells. Rugo uses the shells to dig up bones and eats them with Giganto. Every flower and animal depends on each other, Mazu explained. This is called an ecosystem. Everyone has to help or nothing will work at all. Mazu's friends were shocked. Who knew that such a little flower could be so important? We have to take them back, don't we? Said Bill, hanging his head. At least we didn't pick all the flowers, Rocky reminded him. There are still some left. Mazu sighed with relief. The horseshoe crabs should be fine for now, but we should take the flowers back tomorrow. They all agreed. The crab needed the flowers much more than they did. Don't worry, Mazu. We can put it right. The next morning, the little dinos heard a commotion outside the den. Rugo and Archie were searching for food. Everyone's hungry this morning. How can I dig without any shells? Oh no, said Mazu. Rugo can't find shells because Archie can't find mollusks. So that means the horseshoe crabs aren't eating the flowers. If Rugo can't dig up bones, what will Giganto eat? Cried Bill. Just then, the earth began to shake. Boom, boom, boom. Roar! Gigantosaurus stormed into view, hungrier and angrier than ever. If he doesn't find a bone soon, Mazu shouted, he's going to tear up Cretaceous looking for one. We need to fix the ecosystem.
I couldn't do without you. When you're gonna sing this song to chase away the
Come on, said Bill, kneeling beside Rugo. Let's find a bone for Giganto. The little dinos started digging as fast as they could. At last, they found a perfect bone. I'll give it to Giganto, said Rocky. No, I should do it, Bill insisted. This is all my fault. I know how it feels to have a rumbly tummy. Bill took a deep breath and held the bone high for Giganto. But just as the dinosaur reached down, Rugo leapt up and gnawed the other end. Bone! She cried in delight, and Giganto carried her and their breakfast away. I'm sorry I made you hungry. The friends gathered the rest of the flowers and hurried back to the swamp. Oh no, cried Bill when he saw the bush. All the flowers from the lower branches are gone. Bill quickly gave the crabs the flowers they were carrying. Hey, horseshoes, come and eat. Phew, it's working, said Bill. But once we're done with these, we'll have nothing to eat if we can't reach the top of the bush, explained Mazu. The little dino sprung into action and tied the bush down so that the little crabs could reach every flower. Look, yelled Rocky, the flying Archies are back. The Archaeopteryxes swooped down and started to feed on the mollusk. The ecosystem, whispered Tiny, is coming back to life. Finally. I'm starving. Bill spotted some purple dots lying on the ground. Those must be the flower seeds. He collected them up, then carefully started scattering them over the mud. What a great idea. Good thinking. Mazu beamed. More seeds meant more flowers of the horseshoe crabs. I just wish I could throw them further, sighed Bill. Suddenly, a dark shadow fell over the swamp. Hi, Giganto, Bill whimpered, clutching his precious collection of seeds. Giganto slowly breathed in, sucking the seeds into his enormous nostril. Then, with one ear-splitting sneeze, he blasted the seeds and Bill across the swamp. Achoo! Bill landed safely in the bushes with his friend. Look, Bill, Mazu cried. All around the swamp, hundreds of flower seeds were gliding down into the mud. In time, the swamp would heal and there would be plenty of food for everyone. Giganto swished his tail and stomped away. You know, I realize that Giganto and I have two things in common, Bill told the others. We can both help the ecosystem, and we both get hungry. You are always hungry. Crying Wolfasaurus.
We work to the rhythm of pessimism. It isn't like working at all. A steady beat to tap your feet. It's inspirational. Pessimism, the toe-tapping rhythm, a rock-chipping, chiseling, hammering rhythm. Beautiful colorism. Feel the pessimism, making color before your eyes.
Are we nearly there yet? Bill groaned as he struggled to carry a huge picnic basket up the mountain. The little dinos were on a hike to the lookout. Why did you bring so much food? Mazu called back. We're only going for a picnic, not to live here forever. But just then, the jungle began to rumble. Roar! Giganto, Bill cried, hiding in his picnic basket. His friends laughed as Giganto stomped past without a second glance. Bill scowled. My legs are shaking so much, I don't think I can walk. So Mazu, Rocky, and Tiny had to carry Bill and his enormous picnic for the rest of the hike. It was hot work, but Bill didn't mind. The only thing better than being surrounded by food is being carried while surrounded by food. At last they arrived at the base of the lookout, and Rocky rigged a vine to the top. Bill climbed up in horror. We're going to climb? Come on, Bill, said Mazu. It'll be worth it. Bill gazed hungrily at the food. Let's just eat here. Suddenly there was a loud thump and Bill shrieked, Gigantosaurus! The other dinos leapt in fright and the rope snapped into Rocky's hands. But it was just little Rugo trying to crack open a nut with a gigantic stick. Giganto? Where? Uh-oh. I'm sorry. There's no way out to the lookout now, Rocky said sadly. Mazu sighed. We'll just have to picnic here instead. But when they turned back to their feast, Bill was gobbling down the last berry. Bill, Rocky cried. That lunch was meant to be for all of us. What are we going to eat now? But before Bill could respond, Giganto's coming, called a shrill voice. Bill whirled around to see Rugo shouting, but there was no Giganto in sight. What are you doing, Rugo? He asked. Well, you cried Giganto and you got the snack you wanted, so I thought it might help me get this walnut open. As Rugo ran off to find another way to open his walnut, Bill wondered whether Rugo was onto something. I guess it did work. Later, when the little dinos were playing hide and seek, 1, 2, 3, and Bill couldn't find his friends, he decided to test Rugo's theory. He found a heavy rock and threw it down onto the dusty ground. Thump went the rock. Giganto's coming. In a flash, his friends ran out of their hiding places. Found you, Bill said, smugly. That's not fair, Rocky scowled. You said Giganto was coming. Oops, I must have been wrong again.
I'll gladly share my lunch with you because I am your friend.
Next, the little dinos went to the hot springs. It will be nice to warm my tired toes, said Bill. But when they got there, the springs were full. Bill grabbed the nearest boulder, slammed it down and cried, Giganto's coming! In an instant, the springs were empty and Bill was lounging in the pool. His friends were not impressed and glared at him as he relaxed in the hot water. Later, the little dinos were playing a game of vine ball. Tiny was in goal, and no one could get a ball past her. You can't beat me. When it was Bill's turn to take a shot at goal, he rolled his vine ball into position, drew his leg back, and shouted, Giganto's behind you! Tiny spun around to look, and Bill's ball went sailing past her. Goal, yelled Bill, doing a victory dance. That's not fair, Tiny cried. You can't keep tricking us to get what you want. Before Bill could reply, Archie flapped in from the sidelines. Now don't fight, he said. It sounds like you could all do with a night out of the Archaeopera. Archaeopera? What's that? It's when we gather together to sing around the lake. In the dark, Bill asked. He wasn't sure about this, but his friends all seemed keen to go. So... Giganto's coming, he shouted, pointing behind them all. But Bill's friends had run out of patience with his tricks. We know he isn't coming. You can't fool us anymore. You're just saying that to get out of going to the Archaeopera. But if it's dark, Giganto could stomp right over us, Bill said, desperately. Mazu crossed her arms. Even in the dark, we'd hear him coming. Let's go, said Rocky, leaving Bill to go home on his own.
We're working hard all day, but our work is just like play. Star sprinkles shine in a rainbow, my face.
Bill would have loved this. Hooters to the left, warblers to the right. Blazes, everyone, Archie called. As Archie waved his baton, the gathered dinos moved to their places and the fish released shining bubbles into the evening air. Now, Termy, let's check those drums, Archie commanded. Out in the lake, Termy let her rhythm loose on huge lily pad cymbals. Back in the den, Bill was staring grumpily out of the window when Hoosha silently panned across the savannah. Giganto! How is he walking so quietly, Bill wondered. Then he realized Giganto was heading right towards the lake. They'll never hear him coming. I have to warn them. The sun was down and the archaeopter was in full swing when Bill arrived. Giganto, he panted. He's on his way. We don't believe you. I don't hear anything. But before Bill could say anything more, roar! Giganto thundered out of the jungle, making the ground shake so much that Tiny, Mazu, and Rocky were falling into the lake, landing on Termy's cymbals. With a crash, "You broke my cymbals!" Termy shouted, looming over them. "I'm going to get you for this!" "I'll save you," Bill called, leaping onto a floating bubble. "Hurry," Tiny cried, as Termy 2V draws got closer and closer. Just then, Bill had an idea. He flew in close to Termy's ear and shouted, "Giganto's behind you!" Termy shrieked and swiftly swam off to the bottom of the lake. "I'm so sorry," Bill apologized, once his friends were safely back on the beach. "We forgive you, but that is the only time you can ever cry, Giganto," laughed Tiny. And the friends set off home to their warm and cozy den together again.
The icy cold of winter snow, you can paint a rainbow with a splash of sun. Watch a flower grow.
Giganto's coming. Or is he? When Bill tricks his friends one too many times, they stop believing him. But what happens when Giganto really does come along? Will Bill be able to save the day? When Bill is given a delicious, rare swamp flower, he rushes off to pick more. But Mazu quickly tells him that the flower is very important. Cretaceous needs them to survive. Can the dinosaurs save the flowers before it's too late? Watch the episodes and read the stories in these latest Gigantosaurus adventures.